All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Parrott, President and CEO of SIUE Credit Union. I'm sure a lot of you here is like, I had no idea SIUE had a credit union. I didn't either until I started working there. No, I'm just joking. I have the pleasure of announcing our presenter today, Andrew Gavin, Director of Athletics. He's going on his second year as Director of Athletics at SIUE. So, Andrew, welcome.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. As Matt said, and thank you to Matt for the invitation. My name is Andrew Gavin, Director of Athletics at SIUE. Appreciate the opportunity to be here again. I made 3 quick observations when I got asked to do this. One of which I pulled up the presentation from the last time I was here, and it was exactly 364 days ago. So I apologize. You have to sit through my song and dance twice in 1 year. 2, I've been invited both times by people who run credit unions, so I'm not sure what that says about me. But again, I'm happy to be here. And really the third is just thank you for having me. Always grateful for the opportunity to talk about SIUE athletics. Grateful, I think, for my 1.5+ years here to have had the opportunity to hopefully strengthen our commitment to the Metro East, to Edwardsville, to our community, and also really get a lot of support from you guys, from the community. So with that, happy to tell the story. I'm going to go pretty quickly because I know we don't have a ton of time. But I really have 3 quick things. One is just a few points of pride that I always want to brag about, mostly our student athletes, but also our coaches and staff. 2 is to talk about community engagement and how that's been a big part of our progress and also continued ways that we hope to engage with the community. And then 3 is to talk a little bit about the changing landscape of college athletics, which some of you may have, some levels of familiarity with. I should, but at times I don't always feel that way because it's an interesting time to do this job. But and then I also brought a guest of a guest, Kyle Anderson, who's really at the forefront of our work in name, image, and likeness and NIL. And I want to give Kyle an opportunity to talk a little bit about the work of his organization as well. So with that, just a couple quick things as it relates to our athletic success since the last time I was here. You see here a couple of pictures that highlight that. The men's soccer program, which I think I bragged about last year, has continued to be a really strong aspect of our program, have been, as many of you know, for 50, 60 years. But that's certainly been the case in recent years. So this past fall, they won, we like to say, not 1, not 2, but 3 really important trophies. So that's the bronze boot, which we won for the 2nd straight year over St. Louis University. Yes. That is our regular season championship in the Ohio Valley Conference, and then our postseason championship in the Ohio Valley Conference that gave us an opportunity to compete in the NCAA tournament. So super proud of their continued success. And then the other picture here represents our women's tennis program, which has also been a great program for us for the past few years. This picture, which I shouldn't have skipped yet, is them out. Actually, so not all the time are things created equal when you win a championship. So our men's soccer team won a championship in November and got sent to Kalamazoo, Michigan, where there was 10 inches of snow. Women's tennis won a championship last spring and got sent to Malibu to play Pepperdine. So they won that in terms of the location battle, but super proud of them. And then really something every athletic director can come up here across the country and highlight a couple of sports that won championships, right? We got to win some trophies. That's part of the reason we're competing. Not every athletic director can talk about the next thing I'm going to talk about, and that's the graduation rate and student athlete success that our student athletes have. So in November, the NCAA released their current metrics for graduation success rate, which is basically a metric that grades you on your student athletes' graduation rate and retention, which if you follow today's era of college athletics, those aren't really highlights at a lot of places. And SIUE's current graduation success rate ranks number 2 nationally among public institutions. Nationally. Thank you. And this is something we've long been good at. We weren't in the top 10 or top 2 last year, but we were up near the top. We always are, but we're super proud to be able to say that. The University of Vermont, we're coming for you. They're number 1. This also, of course, means we're number 1 in Illinois. We're proud of that too, because there's a lot of great institutions across the state that sponsor Division I athletics. And then there's like people in Carbondale. The other piece of success that's gonna allow me to kind of pivot into community engagement as well is our men's basketball program, which has really continued to, I think, elevate what they're doing for our institution, for our community. For those of you who don't know, we've been a Division I institution for just a little bit over 15 years. And the way I look at this as a father of 4 is we're still kind of in our toddler phase, and we got a lot of growing up to do. And really, no offense to men's soccer success, any of other sports, but the driver of this is basketball. And Coach Baroni has really done a great job of building a program that is competitive and continuing to get better on the court as well as off the court. They're a part of that. The last slide as well, 3.2 GPA this fall, have some among the most impressive retention in college basketball today, I think, is right here at SIUE. And Coach Baroni, we got to get him here on a non-game day. We play tonight, so he wasn't going to say yes today, but he would tell you a lot of that's about this community. Our guys love playing here, and all of our student athletes love being a part of this community. Our local guy, Rayshawn Taylor, who hopefully many of you know, Collinsville product, is a huge part of that. He broke our Division I scoring record a couple of weeks ago, which he'll continue to build on each and every game, each and every bucket. But also is a SIUE graduate, a 4.0 grad student this fall. So everything that we want our student athletes to be about, Rayshawn's about. And as I get into some of the national topics, Ray could be making a ton of money in NIL at other places. But he wants to be at SIUE, he wants to be in this community, which says a lot about him. So with that, just community engagement is a huge part of this for us. It's a huge part of our growth. And I want to hit that, but I also want to just continue to encourage anybody in the room to reach out. One other observation since the last time I was here is Jake Sutter, a member of our team, a super important member of our team as it relates to community engagement, is now a member of Edwardsville Rotary. So we're happy that he's here every week. And if he does anything he's not supposed to, you can let me know for sure. But we want to do that. A couple of things I want to mention. Our student athletes do about 1,500 community service hours a week. Or not a week. Geez, that would be unfortunate for them. A year. We want to do more. We're protective of their time. They're super busy, but especially with the liaison here with Jake, like, let us know of those opportunities. We can't always say yes, but we have 16 different teams. We've got a student athlete leadership group. They want to be involved in the community, and we want to do as much as we can as it relates to community service. Another thing, Monica's here. Jake, I think, has a jersey. The YMCA partnership that we have has been really tremendous. They launched the Junior Cougars Basketball League last Saturday. So I've got the amount of pictures I got via text and Facebook and other things of parents that were there. Every single kid there on Saturday was rocking an SIUE jersey. That means a ton to me, and we're really grateful for that. There's plenty of ways to get involved with us. Coming to games, sponsorships, fundraising, special events. It's all really, really important, and we're appreciative of all of it. I do want to hit on, hopefully some of you have been to a basketball game at First Community Arena this year. We have continued to try to double down on our atmosphere. Obviously, winning is a huge part of that in the product on the floor, but we want to be family friendly. We want to be an opportunity for your business to host clients. We want to be an opportunity for your group, your youth group, your family group, your community group, to have a high level entertainment product in the winter in the Metro East. And we've seen a lot of benefit of that. We're up 77% in season ticket holders. We're up 45% in total attendance year over year. We're up 60% in our Eddie's Kids Club. So we're really proud of that. We got a long way to go, and we'll continue to kind of double down on that, but we're really appreciative of that and encourage you to come out. The deck's another initiative that we launched this year, kind of as part of that. I've got millions and millions of dollars of facility projects in my brain around arena renovations and outdoor master plans. But in the short term, we're continuing to make progress in terms of what does it look like to come to one of our games, the amenities. So the deck's been a big part of that. Some of you in the room are also a big part of that in terms of sponsorships. So we're really grateful for that. We sold out this space before we ever publicized it. So it's on kind of a second level overlooking the court on one of our baselines. And a lot of you in the room are a product of why that's been successful. So thank you for that. And as it relates to sponsorships more broadly, I think I hit on this last year. And as I get into the NCAA landscape, revenue distribution is really, really critical for us. So sponsorships, the Metro East responding to our invitation for mutually beneficial sponsorships has been critical. We're up 3 times our sponsors from 2 years ago. We're up about 20% in revenue from last year. So we really want to be among the best use of marketing dollars in the Metro East. And I think we're proving that for a lot of our sponsors and really proud of that work. And really Jake's at the forefront of that. So those of you who've worked with him from the sponsorship lens knows how well he takes care of the people who are also taking care of us. So we do have kind of bringing all that together, a lot of opportunities here coming up. I encourage you to come out to First Community Arena. Glen Carbon Nights tonight. I think somebody at Edwardsville saw that and said, well, when's Edwardsville night? So now that's February 27th. I think we're announcing that tomorrow. So we're excited about that. We want to be partners with all the communities in the Metro East, and we're excited about that. So encourage you to come out. Like I said earlier, you know, it's an interesting time to be in college athletics. It's an interesting time to have my job title. There's a lot of uncertainty for all of us trying to navigate this. And I'm not going to get into the weeds much, but there's a lot of legal stuff happening nationally that's going to impact the future of college athletics. At places, yes, like Illinois and Missouri, where they're talking about revenue sharing in the upwards of $15-20 million a year to student athletes. Don't think about revenue sharing very often. I think about obtaining revenue to make budget, but it is part of the equation for us as well. And there's also the Intelligencer has done a phenomenal job, and I'm going to miss Billy Woods because he was really good to us as a sports reporter. But he did a couple of stories over the holidays just about the navigating of college athletics and how that impacts SIUE. But we'll be navigating that in future years as well. So Jake put the slide deck together, so I got to give him credit. Why he put a picture of a beer being poured next to the NCAA settlement graphic gave me a little bit of pause. I thought it was a direct shot at the job title. Sometimes makes me want to go home and pour a beer. But I think his point was we're going to continue to try to diversify our revenue to respond to what is really a challenging time, but also a great opportunity. And I say this seriously. I think as I look around, especially low to mid-major college athletics, there's a lot of places fearful of the change in college athletics and how are we going to make it. I don't approach it that way. And that's really the strength of our university, and that's the strength of this community. I think, and honestly, it's part of the strength of being a toddler. Like there's no way for us to go but to continue to grow and to continue to get better. So I really think about the challenge and the opportunity that is presenting us in college athletics really as an opportunity for us to leap past a lot of our peers, and even those that we maybe consider aspirant in today's day and age. So NIL is a big part of that. Name, image, and likeness is what that means. It's basically a student athlete's ability to profit off their name, image, and likeness. Their standing as a college student athlete. It's become a huge aspect of recruiting and retention across all of college athletics. Certainly, you see it a lot in the headlines at the highest level, but it impacts us as well, and it especially impacts us in basketball. So we're really fortunate, as I mentioned earlier, to have a group of community members and supporters led by Kyle who have helped us with this because it really is something that happens outside of the college athletics department and trying to navigate this new era. And with that, I'm going to ask Kyle to tell you guys a little bit about For the E and his organization, and then we've got some really exciting news. We've got some really exciting news related to NIL as well. Yes, sir.
One quick question. Would there be a milk chugging contest tonight in location?
I think the answer to the first question is yes. The latter question, I do have the ability to make him. So I can be bought. I definitely can be bought. And he's from Wisconsin. You'd think he'd be good at it, right? There you go. Yeah. So Kyle, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. So I'll be very brief. First off, I want to say, Andrew and Jake, there are people out there who find reasons why they can't do things. Andrew and Jake are not that. They find out how to make things work the best they can. Coming in here, we've seen dramatic changes. I've been a season ticket holder for ever since they went Division I. It's been a night and day difference between Andrew and Jake's tenure here, how they've grown the atmosphere, the program, everything. So we felt compelled to get involved when we saw those changes taking place and create an NIL. We are in no way competing against the university. We work as much as we can and hand in hand with the university to raise money. Like it or not, some people hate NIL, some people love it. Does make a difference. If we want to compete in this day and age in college athletics, we have to have an NIL. So we are raising money for men's basketball. That's my passion. I coach sophomore basketball at EHS. I love basketball, and our passion is the men's team. If you're interested in starting a women's NIL, we will help you with that, and you can help us pull the rope. But no longer is it just the university or the coach. It's the community that plays a very active role. So we have felt the impact of other universities having a more powerful NIL. We lost a very, 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 very good player to Oregon State because they gave him, he wanted to stay here. One day I'm talking to him, and the next day he goes, I cannot turn down the money that Oregon State's offering me. So it is vital. Why are sports vital to this? University of Maryland, Baltimore, they beat Purdue, right? First round, is that them? Beat Virginia, first round, 16 seed, beat a 1 seed. So the enrollment after that game, increased. The searches for that university, for that community increased. So let's say we make the tournament, and we play a close game, or we beat a team even. That doesn't only just help our men's basketball team, it helps our entire community. It puts us on the map. So when we're competing against local talent, I do economic development for a living for the 9-county region. When we're competing, Andrew, case in point, we're trying to get Andrew. It's a great attraction. He looks at Edwardsville. It's 25,000 people, 30,000 people-ish. It was kind of if you looked at just Edwardsville, it's a lateral move for him. But we are a huge region. So when we're trying to attract that local talent, if we want to keep them at SIUE, and we have our top students, we need to be on the same line in the tournament against the Purdue or against Indiana, Illinois, whoever else. It legitimizes our university. A lot of people don't even know we're Division I. We're Division I? Yeah, we are. We're the same competing athletic program in basketball as Purdue or Illinois, all those Big Ten teams you hear so much about. So we need to act like that, like we are. So we would love to have your support with the NIL. We make absolutely no money on it, so we cost us money every single day. But I love it, and it's great. I'm in for $22.50, but who's keeping track? My wife is. So we have one very generous donor who has agreed to do a $25,000 match. So he has ponied up $25,000. So if we're able to raise $25,000 before March 1st, we get $25,000 from this sponsor. And if we raise $20,000, he's going to give us $20,000. So we already have a $5,000 contribution. We've had other significant contributions, $5,000, $10,000. But then we also have people who buy bourbon for $100. We have people who just say, "Hey, Kyle, here's $20," and every little bit helps. So we have a website, forthee.org. You can donate there. I have bottles of bourbon in my car, in the back, all unopened. But they're $100. Again, all proceeds go strictly to that. It's an alumni-owned distillery, Old Herald Ardent Distillery. So it's a really pretty bottle if you want to check it out. But I can't stress it enough. It's not only an investment in the athletics program or the university, it's an investment in our whole community. If we can achieve that NCAA bid, it's more than just that bid. It is raising our profile, our legitimacy to our local talent to get them to go to SIUE. I'm an alumni. Chancellor Warner, he signed my diploma. He was really pressured to do so. So it's not only an investment in these athletes, it's investment in the whole community. So, any questions on me, for me? Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Andrew and Jake. You guys do a great job.